Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. So this is kind of a big deal for me. I just turned 40. What in the heck? That's so crazy. Can't believe it. July 22nd, 40 years old. That's my birthday, baby. Any other cancers in the audience? It's so strange. It's an odd thing. Like I don't feel 40, right? I really don't. I feel like late 20s or early 30s, like mentally. I think I'm still quite immature. And I don't know. I don't know what that's about. But I gotta say, I'm really excited about this next decade. I'm excited to be 40. I feel my life is in really good shape. And it's so funny because I just came out with this book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter. And it's all about my marriage unraveling and the hardest 4 years of my life. And now I'm a divorcee, a 40-year-old divorcee with 2 small kids, which sounds kind of sad, but it's actually not. You know, I think when I was younger, I always felt bad for the 40-year-old single woman who just went through a divorce. And I'm like, oh, I bet her husband cheated on her with a secretary. And that's so f***ed up and my worst nightmare. No, it's actually awesome. This podcast is sponsored by Daily Look, the #1 highest rated premium personal styling service for women. If you're listening to this podcast, then you at least know this. I'm a busy mom. Between my schedules for the kids, for this podcast, for my new book, the live show, events, family, everything else, I honestly don't have time to think about what I'm going to wear every day. This explains that onesie I'll never mention again in the video I deleted last week. If you are experiencing that no time for shopping, nothing to wear feeling, then you need to try Daily Look. With Daily Look, you get your own dedicated personal stylist to curate a box of clothes based on your body shape, preferences, and lifestyle. This is not an algorithm. These are real personal stylists. I'm literally wearing one of the tops right now to record this podcast. I love Daily Look because it takes all the stress out of seasonal transitions. I don't have to think about what people are wearing this summer. My stylist already knows. It's time to get your own personal stylist with Daily Look. Head to dailylook.com to take your style quiz and use the code IDIOTX for 50% off your first order. Once again, that's dailylook.com for 50% off, and make sure you use my promo code IDIOTX so they know I sent you. One last time, that's dailylook.com and promo code IDIOTX. I mean, I love being single and I love being free, and I am anything but lonely because I have incredible friends in my life, incredible family. I have an amazing support group of women that I see every single week. I just have so much fullness in my life and fun. And, you know, I'm flirtatious and I love being a mom. I mean, of course there's hard times, but my life is really good today at 40 years old. I feel healthy and strong and like I'm a good mom and I'm doing pretty well in my career and I'm a pretty good person, you know, just life is, I feel very blessed. I feel very blessed to be 40 years old. I feel like I know who I am more than I did obviously in my 30s or 20s. I'm way more confident than I was in my 20s and 30s. And yet I still feel like I have so much more to learn and I have so much more to do. It feels weird to say, oh, my life's just beginning. But in a way, I feel like that. I mean, I have a 5 and 7-year-old. I get to watch them grow and change every day. And I'm just continuing to learn and to grow every day. And I'm so excited about this next decade. It's so great. Oh my gosh. And all my friends that I grew up with, they're all turning or have turned 40. And so they're all doing these little weekends away. So we've really went extra with the celebrating. And I don't know if I can get it together, maybe I can go away for a day or two, do a little staycation with my best friends. we'll see if that happens. But yeah. Okay. So this is great. And if you want to get me a birthday present, the best birthday present you can get me is buying my book. That's the best present you can get me. You can buy my book wherever books are sold, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Target. Oh, Target, it's going to be out in like a month there. But yeah, anywhere, just type it in, Audible, or order a physical copy. That would be my best 40th birthday present, is for you to buy this book that I'm very proud of. And also like happy that it's like out there and I can just keep on going, because it's, obviously essays from the last 4 years of my life. So it's pretty intense. And I'm just like happy that that period is behind me, and I was able to write something meaningful from it and learn from it and grow from it. And obviously it's progress, not perfection. Of course, I'm getting like, a lot of amazing reviews, but I'm also getting heat from people, from some people, small amount, but they're loud, saying, she hasn't learned anything. She let him back. And I find that funny because I haven't let him back. We've been officially divorced for the last, I think, 2-3 months now. It took 4 years to actually get the settlement done, and it's official. So no, I have not let him back. If I let him back, you mean allowed him in my children's life? Yeah. I mean, me and the judge, like, he's their father and he's over 11 months sober. And so he's in their lives, and my kids love their dad. They love him. They adore him, and he loves them. And so if that's what you mean by let him back, I'm not quite sure. And also the fact that I've chosen to, just because I've chosen to forgive some pretty horrendous behavior, it doesn't mean I'm taking him back and we're back together. We're not. We're divorced. He's my kid's father, and he has them, 1 to 2 days a week. And so I see him during that time. So I don't know. I think that maybe that's controversial. Like, some people think, oh, you should never have contact with him, even though he's your kid's father. I don't really want to live that way. I know this. I'll tell you this. If he ever gets back on drugs or mistreats me, I will take action immediately. I have no qualms about that. I will take action immediately. And that's it. And so I just take it one day at a time. And today he's sober and kind to me and to my children. And that's it. So I want to live a peaceful life and not carry resentment and hatred in my heart for anyone, really. That's how I want to live. And in fact, I'm a recovering addict myself. And you could argue that that's how I have to live. They say in sobriety, in recovery, that resentment is the number one offender. It's the first thing that takes us out. So I cannot afford to hold on to things. And I know that could even be controversial. You don't have to forgive everyone if that doesn't feel right for you. I know for me, it's what I have to do if I want to continue living a sober, happy, peaceful life for me. And I know that maybe feels strange to some people, and it is what it is. So yeah, so 40 years old. Yeah, it feels, I don't know, anyone else 40 here? Oh, I want to hear from the 50 somethings. How was your, or the 40 somethings? How is your 40s? How is it? Do you enjoy it? What I hear all the time is like, oh my God, it just keeps getting better. It's better than my 30s. It's better than my 20s. It's better than my teens. I don't know if it could be better than your childhood, unless you had a really bad childhood. Pretty cool being a kid. But I want to know how do you like being in your 40s? I want to hear from you. And do you have any tips for me now that I'm 40 years old? What are your tips? I know, like, strength training, that's a thing. I've been a yogi for 20 years, but I hear like your muscles get weaker. And so I'm really obsessive about figuring out, like I have a personal trainer now and we're going to do strength training. Another thing is like making sure I'm exercising my brain because obviously dementia, Alzheimer's runs in my family. And so I'm doing these little like tips and tricks to strengthen your brain. I hear racket sports is really good. Got to get into pickleball. Like I said, strength training. I'm determined to learn learn an instrument. I'm not going to learn a language. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should just try. And then another thing I really want to prioritize now that I'm 40 is just really seeing my family, like my mom and dad, just really making an effort to fly them out whenever possible. Like I was just in Chicago, you guys, for my book tour, and it was so amazing. I met so many amazing people at my book event, so many incredible women. I got to hug them, take pictures, sign a bunch of books, do an amazing panel. It was so fun. I got to be on this WGN, which is Chicago's biggest morning news show. And that was so much fun too. And just to be back home, where I was born and raised was so incredible for so many reasons. I stayed downtown for the first 2 nights. It was so funny. The first night I get there, I go to this like little hotel, and it turns out to be like a literal, not crack house, but close. There's no water. There's no coffee. The room is like as big as a jail cell. There's like a little twin bed. My feet are dangling off the sides. I remember just walking in on my publication day to this little tiny, teeny little room. No water, no nothing, no coffee, no phone in there. Just this tiny little shower, and I just started crying. I was also very premenstrual at the time. And I think I thought like, single mom, this is my, like, I never leave, right? I never leave. In fact, I canceled 2 cities because I couldn't be gone for 9 days away from the kids. So I thought 4 days back home to Chicago. That's what I'll do. This podcast is sponsored by Daily Look, the #1 highest rated premium personal styling service for women. It's summertime, and I'm a busy mom. In between picking up shoes thrown in the pool, chalk sets hidden in the washing machine, almonds stuffed in my sock drawer, and whatever other chaos life demands of me, I need to remember to wear clothes. If you're experiencing that no time for shopping, nothing to wear, what look should I bring to the beach feeling, then you need to try Daily Look. With Daily Look, you get your own dedicated personal stylist to curate a box of clothes based on your body shape, preferences, and lifestyle. This is not an algorithm. These are real personal stylists. My stylist sent me the perfect lightweight sweater that felt like it was made for me, and some elevated basics that instantly made me look put together, even though I'm not. How it works is simple. You fill out their style quiz, including your price and lifestyle preferences. You get up to 12 hand-selected items delivered to your home. Then you buy what you love and you send back the rest. And Daily Look offers free shipping both ways. It's that easy and it's fun. It's like clothes Christmas every month. It's time to get your own personal stylist with a Daily Look. Head to dailylook.com to take your style quiz and use the code IDIOTX for 50% off your first order. Once again, that's dailylook.com for 50% off, and make sure you use my promo code IDIOTX so they know I sent you. One last time, dailylook.com and promo code IDIOTX. So I was expecting like, whatever, dude, just even like a Marriott, whatever, just something clean and that a bed I could fit in and water to drink. Like I walk in, it's a literal jail cell, and I just start crying. I'm also premenstrual. Dude, and then I like looked on my phone, I'm like, and it's like almost 9 p.m. I haven't eaten. And I'm like, I'll just book another hotel. I don't care if I have to pay for it, whatever, And so I'm looking around, every single place is booked, like everywhere in Chicago is booked. No place is available. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. Make the best of it. So I'm like, well, I'm starving. So I go down to the receptionist who fucking hates me for whatever reason. And she's like, I said, hi, ma'am. Do you know where could I walk anywhere for dinner? And she goes, Google it. I'm like, oh, well, all right, but you live here. Like, is there anywhere I could walk? She's like, there's a diner 3 blocks away. And I was like, oh, cool. Is there anything else walking distance? She's like, I don't know what you like. And I'm like, just food. Like is there anywhere else I could walk? She goes, Google it. You can Google Maps it. I don't know what you want. And I was like, all right. So I go on Google and I find this like vegan Mexican place. And I'm like, in Chicago, what? Okay, I have to try that. So I get an Uber. I get in the car. All of a sudden I see this place is like 20 miles away. It's already almost 9 p.m. They stop serving at 9. I'm just like, I stop the driver. I stop the Uber driver. I'm like, sir, wait, stop. We can't go here. It's too far. He's like, well, this is the destination. I said, stop. Can you just take me somewhere else? He goes, you need to change the destination in Uber. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't use it enough. He goes, well, figure it out. I'm like, can you show me? He's like, I'm driving. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, can you just pull over and let me out? He's like, yeah, all right. So he pulls off some highway, lets me out in the West Loop in Chicago. Now you would think, being raised 10 miles west of the city in Downers Grove, Illinois, that I would know Chicago, but I don't. I don't know that city, as embarrassing as it sounds, because I moved to Los Angeles at 17 years old. So I never really got to experience the city as an adult. I was always in the suburbs, and then I moved when I was 17. So I'm like dropped off in the West Loop. I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh God. So I go into the first restaurant I see. I'm like, hi, do you have any tables? He's like, no, but you can sit at the bar. We can serve you there. I said, great. So I sit down. Waitress comes up. I said, I know. I look at the menu. It's all meat. And I said, is there anything vegan here? She goes, no. I said, do you think you could make any of these vegan? She goes, no. I said, okay. So I get up and I go, and then I go across the street to another restaurant. In this place, I was like, hi, ma'am. Do you have any tables? And she goes, no, but you can sit at the bar. It's full service. I'm like, all right, fine. So I go to the bar and I ask the bartender, hi, sir, do you have any kombucha? And he goes, what? I go, kombucha. And the guy next to me starts laughing. And I'm like, it's fermented tea. He's like, no, I don't have any fermented tea. I'm like, cool. I'll do a sparkling water. And do you have anything vegan? He's like, yeah, we have like vegan tacos. I'm like, oh my God, yes. And then the guy next to me is like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And he's like this cute guy in like a really nice suit. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I just flew in from California, and I just like, I'm staying in this like jail cell with no water, and I'm just so hungry. And this guy just dropped me off here, and I don't even know where I am. I don't even know what part. He's like, you're fine. It's okay. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And then we ended up like just hanging out, and he's so nice. And we ended up like laughing, and he made fun of me about trying to get kombucha at this bar in Chicago. And, he just ended up like putting a pep in my step because I was so whatever, man. I was premenstrual and I was hungry, and the receptionist wanted to kill me. And I just was like, it was just a fun little connection, you know, and whatever. So I had a great dinner, laughed a lot, and then went back to my little jail cell and could not sleep on this bed. It was like cardboard, dude. I can't like, and then my friend said something really funny. He goes, you know, the only good thing about boutique hotels is they're really good at taking pictures. They take really good pictures of the rooms, and that's it. Then you get there and they've deceived you with good lighting and angles. Felt like I was catfished by this hotel. And then I finally get back around like 11 p.m., right? I got to wake up at 5 a.m. Chicago time, which is 3 a.m. LA time, to be on this morning news show. So I'm like, I got to get some sleep. I am tossing and turning in this cardboard baby bed. All right. Cannot sleep. Probably get around 2 hours of mediocre sleep. I get up at 5 a.m. Chicago time, which is 3 a.m. LA time. And I'm like, I need some water. I'm so dehydrated and I need coffee immediately. So I go downstairs. There's no receptionist there. There's no one there. I'm like, hello? No one. Hello? No one. So then I see there's like stairs down to a basement and I'm like, might as well look in the basement. So I go down to the basement of this little weird motel hotel, not even a Holiday Inn. Okay. Holiday Inn would have been a Ritz Carlton experience. Had I been at a Holiday Inn, I would have been dancing around. So I go down to the stairs. I'm looking in the basement. And when I told my mom the story, she's like, what's the number one rule in horror films? You never go in the basement. But I went in the basement. Hello? No one. There's just like this weird, creepy radio station playing, but no one I can see listening to it. Hello? And then I see this little area in the counter on the basement of like an old coffee maker, and it's broken, dude. And I'm like gonna cry. Then I see a little water machine to the right, and that's doesn't work either. It doesn't work. So I'm like dehydrated, spinning. I need water. I need coffee. Then I'm like looking, there's like these massive fridges. And you know, I'm scared of refrigerators now, but I open it anyway. And I just see these like old half-eaten pizzas in there. And I'm tempted. But I shut the fridge and I'm like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Go back up? No one's there. I guess the receptionist like was sleeping. You know, I don't know. There was no one there. And by the way, anyone could just come in and out too. There was no like, you know, you had to put the key in to get in. Nope, you could just come right on in, honey. Come right on in. So then hair and makeup arrives to my shoebox at 6:30 in the morning. And whatever, dude, we laughed about it, you know, and my hair and makeup were two girls who I went to high school with, which was so awesome. We got to catch up about so much and they're so amazing. So that was so much fun. And we just laughed about what a show, and went to WGN, did my news show, got my coffee, my water. And it was great. It was so great. And then after that, I met for lunch my literal first boyfriend that I've ever had in my entire life. I met him for lunch. He works in downtown Chicago. Now, I met this guy when I was 12 years old. We were both 12. And we met at the local Four Corners on the 4th of July, where they have the fireworks. And I'll never forget this. I was walking with my girlfriends, and then we see this group of cute 12-year-old boys, and they're walking, and we're walking past each other, and I see my Mike, this guy, and I remember locking eyes with him and thinking, wow, he's really cute. And he stared back at me. And then as we passed each other, I just turned around and looked at him, and he turned around at the same time. And we locked eyes, and then he just walked right up to me and he was like, can I get your phone number? And I was like, yeah, sure. And we went on some like very obviously innocent dates when we were 12, 13 to the movies and stuff. Our parents drove us. And then he was literally my on and off again boyfriend all through high school, from 12 to 17, really. And even when I left for LA, we still had sort of plans of like, you know, maybe we can make it work. I don't know. And of course, life happens and you grow up and you change. But it was really awesome to just sit and catch up with this man who I hadn't seen in nearly 20 years. And it was so funny when I saw him. It was like, he weirdly looked the same. I was like, you look the same. He's like, you look the same. I'm like, are we delusional? He's like, probably. And we just caught up on everything. We talked about, how's your mom? How's your dad? How's your brother? Told me the crazy story about his brother, his little brother. And I'm so proud of where he ended up. And I told him about my sisters and my parents. And then we talked about our mutual friends and where they all are, and just exchanged all these stories. Now he has 3 beautiful little boys and a beautiful wife. And he told me about where they're living and their relationship. And it was just so exciting. And he really blossomed into an amazing person. And it was just so heartwarming. And it's funny because when I told my friend, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to meet Mike for lunch. My friend's like, what? I'm like, I'm sorry, but he was my first love, And there's something special about seeing your first love after 20 years. And it was just really special. Like and he looked at me and he goes, Laura, I'm really proud of you. He goes, I'm proud of both of us because we did what we said we were going to do. We did. He's like, you have always known you wanted to do comedy and you would tell me that and you're doing it. And he goes, and I always knew I wanted to make a lot of money and I'm doing it. He works in finance. I'm like, dude, yes. And I remember we were on some date when we were 15 or something. And I was like, what's your passion? And he's like, making money. And I was like, at the time I was so turned off by that. I'm like, but whatever. He wanted to make a lot of money so he could buy freedom and have a great life for him and his family. And I get it. But yeah, it was just so fun and unexpected. And yeah, we just chatted about all sorts of memories and stuff. And it was fun. It was great. It was special. So that was awesome. And then I left the crack house and went back to the suburbs, to Naperville. And they put me up in this really awesome hotel, thank God, in Naperville. And my parents came and met me and we had an awesome dinner and just chatted. And then the next day I did this awesome book event for an Anderson's book event thing at this church, oddly. That's where they host it. But and over 100 amazing women were there. And I got to just meet everyone and hug them and chat and exchange stories. And it was so meaningful. Some of these women were so awesome. And they drove 3 hours to come and just meet me, which is so cool. And so I guess I don't really get experiences like that much because everything I do is digital. So I don't get to meet you guys. But that's why I'm writing my live show and I'm going to do a tour so I can keep meeting everyone because that's really awesome to just have that connection, So it's not just this parasocial relationship, but we could actually meet each other and be in the same room. I miss that. As much as I love sitting in this little box by myself, it's really, really cool just sitting there and being present with a bunch of other awesome women. So yeah, so I did that and it was so much fun. And then the next day, I did a little spa treatment in the morning and that was so freaking glorious just to get a massage and sleep in. I think I slept till 12 o'clock, which is 10 a.m. LA time, but still, I don't know the last time I've slept till 10 a.m. I mean, it was incredible to just, yeah. And Alfie is properly tracked. So he's got the Angel Sense tracker on him so I could see where he was. And he, you can push a button on there to request a call, a 2-way call. And he would call me he would request calls throughout the day. Alfie's requesting a call. Alfie's requesting a call. And every time he would, I would call and just say, hello, Alfie. And I would hear ee. And I go, hello, Alfie. I'm here and I'll be back on Sunday. And he's like, ee. And I was like, can you say, bye, mommy? And he wouldn't really, but I know he could hear me. And I know it was comforting just to hear my voice throughout the day while I was gone. So that was really so cute. And shout out to Angel Sense for I just can breathe, I can breathe now that he has like a tracker device on him. It literally notifies me if he tries to leave the house, if he goes anywhere. I can two-way call him. It has an alert on it. Like it just, I can't tell you the relief I feel. And I had tried a tracker watch in the past and he broke that. I had tried like a air tag in his shoes, but then he would wear another different pair of shoes and blah, blah. This has just been the best solution for me. So having a child that elopes, it's huge. But anyway, so, okay. Well, that is my time, you guys. My nanny is going to pediatric nursing school and I'm so proud of her. And she has an exam today. So she has a very hard out. So I want to respect that. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Thank you for listening to my little stories. Oh, and then just like the last day before I went home, all of my aunts, uncles, cousins came over and we sat around my living room and just shared funny story after funny story after funny story for like 5 hours. Because that's what my family does. And it hit me. I was like, holy, this is why I'm funny. Every single one of my family members is so funny. And we just tell funny stories, just one after the other. I finish a story and then my cousin Mark is like, oh, that reminds me when I was 7 years old and you did this and you did that. And then my aunt's like, oh, and that reminds me. And it's just like bang, bang, bang. Do any other families do that? Because my family, we sit around and we just tell the most hysterical stories and crack up for hours. And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense why I am the way I am and why I'm always like finding the funny. So anyway, if you haven't gotten my book, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Hotter, it's available wherever books are sold. It would be the best birthday present, 40th birthday present ever for me if you got this book. And I hope you love it. It's a collection of essays from the last 4 years of my life. And it's funny and I hope inspiring and it's a big old mess, but I hope you love it. And thank you so much for listening. If you haven't joined my Patreon for extra special stuff every single week, newsletters, lives, that's patreon.com/Laura Clary. And until next week.